Okay, this is chapter 2 on natural and cultural heritage. We have done yesterday's session, today's session, and this is the third session which we are doing. It will be in the form of recap. It will be in the form of recap. Now, children, tell me, India is our country. It is our motherland, mother country. India is a beautiful country. Do you agree with me? Do you
Yes,
agree with
ma'am.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Why do you say that
Yes,
India is
ma'am.
a beautiful country? I will call out the names, you can answer me. Kirti, can you tell me why India is called as a beautiful country?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, beta.
Ma'am, because there are beautiful places.
Yes, there are beautiful places. And what else do we find in India? What adds to the beauty of India? Huh?
We can get to know all about nature.
Nature. Okay, then
Ma'am, different kinds of birds.
different kinds of birds.
Animals.
Yes, animals. Then what else do we have?
Historical building.
Historical
Ma'am,
buildings.
historical buildings.
Then what else do we have?
Ma'am, famous mountains.
Famous mountains.
Different
Then
languages.
yes.
Famous Taj Mahal.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, Taj Mahal.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
famous dance.
Okay. This all
Famous music.
This all makes our country beautiful country.
Taj
The
Mahal.
entire thing makes our country beautiful country. Now somebody asked me a question, "Ma'am, what is the meaning of heritage? What is the meaning of heritage? What is the meaning of heritage? Our heritage. India is a land of rich culture. India is a land of rich culture and heritage. Heritage includes culture, traditions, historical buildings, languages, dance, music, art forms, coins, etc. that have been passed down from our early generations. These people lived long before us and are commonly referred to our ancestors. Now, what we have got from our ancestors. Now, ancestors in the sense what we have got from our great grandparents. We have not invented the festivals. We have not invented the traditions. We have not invented the culture. It has been passed on to us from our great grandparents to their children, from their children, from their children to their children, and it has come to us. This is heritage. That is the culture that we follow. Understood? What comes from, it passes from one generation to another. The festivals, the food habit, the religious festivals, the food habits, the sense of dressing, dress code, state wise, all this we have not invented. It is just carried on, passed on from one generation to another. Okay? Now let us talk about our natural heritage. Our natural heritage. Our natural heritage comprises the environment that surrounds us. The nature that is around us is called as natural heritage. It includes the unique animals, birds, plants, forest, mountains, rivers, valleys, and other natural features found in the country. Now, what are natural heritage? Our natural heritage comprises the environment that surrounds us. It includes the unique animals, birds, plants, forest, mountains, rivers, valleys, and other natural features found in our country. Now, many of these are worshipped and have religious significance. Some have interesting folklores associated with them. India is the only country where we celebrate so many festivals. India is the only country where we respect animals, like, for example, we respect the cow, yes, as God or a sign or symbol of God. No other country will follow this. That is only in
Ma'am,
India. And under our natural heritage, it includes the forest and the wildlife, that is, the animals. It includes the mountains, the valleys, the forest, the birds, the animals. These are all natural, not man made. It is not man made, it is natural, created by God. So, this comes under natural heritage, natural belongings to us. Understood? Now, the second one. Now, what is cultural heritage? What is cultural heritage? Our traditional style of architecture, places of worship, inscriptions, pottery, coins, dance, drama, music, and painting comprise our cultural heritage. So, this all topics they come under cultural heritage. Now, what is natural heritage? Nature, mountains, valleys, rivers, plants, animals, birds. Natural, created by God, not man made. And in culture, we have places of worship, inscriptions, pottery, coins, dance, drama, music, and painting. They all come under cultural heritage. Literature, languages, food habits, dressing style, housing, folklores, festivals, and other such practices also form a part of a cultural heritage. Now, when we speak about architecture, now what is architecture? Architecture, when we speak about architecture, forts, palaces, temples, monasteries, and pillars built by our ancestors help us understand their lives better. In India, we have many forts, many palaces, many temples, monasteries, pillars built by our ancestors. They help us to know our country more in detail. Okay? Now, the earliest architecture remains in India belongs to the first Indus Valley civilization. It was the first civilization found in India. Its ruins, now what are ruins? The remains speaks about 5,000 years old architecture marvels. In the period following the Indus Valley civilization, many other buildings were constructed. During the Indus Valley civilization, many buildings were constructed. Some of the famous buildings Among them include the Buddhist stupas at Sanchi and Sarnath, the Ajanta and Ellora caves, and the Elephanta caves. There are several statues of deities and murals in these buildings. The statues and idols of god and goddesses are erected in these buildings. The Sun Temple at Konark, the Khajuraho Temple in Madhya Pradesh, the Meenakshi Temple and Brihadeshwara Temple in Tamil Nadu, and the ruins of Hampi in Karnataka are some examples of temples built in the past. So, this all speaks about our culture, about the architecture, art and architecture of our country. The Red Fort, the Qutub Minar, the Jama Masjid, and the Humayun's tomb are famous monuments located in Delhi. The Taj Mahal in Agra, made of white marble, is one of the seven wonders of the world. So, this all comes under architecture of India. Now, when we speak about painting, the type of paintings that was there in India during the ancient times. Different styles of paintings developed at different times in the past of India. The cave temples made by early humans at Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh, the wall paintings of Ajanta and Ellora depicting the life of Buddha are oldest examples of a rich heritage in paintings. In the later period, the Mughal paintings flourished and were called miniature painting due to their size, small size. Small tiny paintings they were called as miniature paintings. These depicted court scenes, hunting scenes, and battle scenes from Hindu epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana. In India, we have two great epics. One is the Mahabharata, and the second one is Ramayana. In Mahabharata, it is the story about five Pandavas and the 100 Kauravas. And in Ramayana, it is the story, the life story about Lord Rama, his brother Lakshman, Sita Devi, and Hanuman, the Vanar. We have seen n number of TV shows, mythological serials, where we have seen the story about the epics Mahabharata and Ramayana. Now, when we talk about dance, when we talk about the dances in India, dance forms in India are broadly categorized into classical and folk style. Under classical dances were earlier either performed in temples as a form of worship or in courts for recreation. Now, some of the major classical dances of India and their homes are listed in the table given below. Now, classical dance and the state. Classical dance and the state. Now, earlier times, olden times, classical dance was performed during the pujas, the religious rituals, pujas, or for some recreation in the court of kings. Now, in your textbook on page number 8, we have the classical dance and the state. Types of classical dance, name and the state. Like for example, Bharatnatyam, Tamil Nadu, Odissi, Odisha, Kathakali, Kerala, Mohiniyattam, Kerala, Kathak, North India, Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh, and Manipuri, Manipur. So these are all the names of types of classical dance and in which state it is famous or which is the state that follows these dance form. These are classical. Now what are folk style? These are the tribal dance or you can say the village dance where people perform in some rituals, festivals, marriage. Okay. Some of the famous classical dances of India are Sonal Mansingh, Pandit Birju Maharaj, Mallika Sarabhai and Uday Shankar. So these are the famous classical dances of our country. So we have to be very proud of them. Now, folk dances. Folk dances are usually performed during festivals, harvests, and marriages by people from the community. Some folk dances of India are listed in the table given below. That is the name of the folk dance and the state. Now, folk dance, Garba and Dandiya. Now, the name of the folk dance that is Garba and Dandiya. Which state? Gujarat. Which state? Gujarat.
Gujarat.
Ghumar. One more dance. Ghumar.
Ma'am,
That is
Rajasthan.
Rajasthan.
Ma'am, Rajasthan.
Bhangra and Gidda dance. It
Ma'am,
is
Punjab.
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 Bihu, Assam.
Assam.
So, examples of tribal dances include Gaur, Maria of Madhya Pradesh, Panti of Chhattisgarh, Goti Pao of Odisha, Tangta of Manipur, and Changlo of Nagaland. These are all folk dances. These are all folk dances. Next, we speak about music. Just like dance, music in India, just like dance, music in India, India too is of classical and folk style. Classical music is further divided into two types. That is, one is the Carnatic and the second one is the Hindustani music. Hindustani music developed in the northern part of India while Carnatic music developed in the southern part. Some of the famous vocal maestros, that is experts we can say, people who are expert in music of India are Pandit Jasraj, Bhimsen Joshi and Miss Subbalakshmi. And other celebrated musicians known for playing classical musical instruments include Pandit Ravi Shankar for sitar, Pandit Hari Prasad Chaurasya for flute, Ustad Bismillah Khan for shehnai, and Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma for santoor, and Ustad Amjad Ali Khan for sarod, and Ustad Zakir Hussain for tabla. So this is all about the music of our country. Now literature and languages. India has a rich collection of literature. Now we are speaking about books that include both religious and non-religious. Religious literature include books like the Vedas, the Puranas, that is the Ramayana, the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita. Non-religious literature includes poems, stories, dramas, etc., written by famous writers. There are 22 languages recognized by the Constitution of India. Hindi in Devanagari script is the official language of India. However, English is also used for official purpose. Though Hindi is our official language, but we use English for official work. Yes? Hindi, it is used in Devgiri script, but we use English for all the office work. Sanskrit and Tamil are two of the oldest languages of the world. Most of the Indian languages are written and read from left to right. However,
And
Urdu,
Sanskrit.
Kashmiri, and Sindhi are written and read from right to left. So, this was all about our literature and languages. The last part, that is festivals. Festivals. India is a land of festivals. They mark days of religious, agricultural, and national importance. So, we have three types of festivals. One is the religious festival, second one is the national festival, and third one is the harvest festival. We call it as agriculture, but actually we call it as the harvest festival. Some religious festivals celebrated in India are Holi, Diwali, Dashera, Durga Puja, Ganesh Chaturthi, Janmashtami, Raksha Bandhan, Guru Purab, Eid, Moharram, Mahavir Jayanti, Buddha Purnima, and Christmas. All these festivals we celebrate throughout the year. Basant Panchami, Baisakhi, Onam, and Pongal are some harvest festivals. So these are harvest festivals. Independence Day, Republic Day, and Gandhi Jayanti are our national festivals. Last but not the least, handicrafts and embroidery. It is also very important, and what you can see. Handicrafts are the handmade decorative items in India which is available in large number. That is terracotta work, bidri work, bamboo and cane work are some examples of handicrafts of India. And children, to conclude this lesson, to conclude this lesson, I would only like to say we as Indians should be very proud of our diverse culture and heritage. Every citizen should respect it and make efforts to preserve it so that it can be passed on to the future generation. It is our duty to protect our natural and cultural heritage of our country so that the next generation of children, the next generation will view it, enjoy it, and study it. So, we as Indians should be proud of our diverse culture and heritage. Every
Thank
citizen
you.
should respect it and make efforts to preserve it, to save it, to protect it so that it can be passed on to future generation. The future generation may know, may study, and pass it on to their next generation about our natural and cultural heritage of our country. So, this is all about our natural and cultural heritage of our country.